So I guess we'll just try this. I have unknowingly filmed, I think, 2 or 3 of these videos now, not realizing that you couldn't even see my face. So we're gonna go ahead and try this one. It's Melissa. Hope you guys are doing well. I am back for another car therapy video. It's basically where I talk to myself on my drive home and you get to listen. I basically just talk about things that are on my mind or something that I've gone through recently. It's basically just sort of my own brain dump to myself on camera while I'm driving, because I just find it very cathartic. Usually it's kind of my thing to do when I'm driving home from work, is just to kind of turn off the music and just kind of process whatever's going on for the day, or, you know. Oh, there's a doggy. So yeah, I guess what has been on my mind lately, for a couple reasons. I was actually having a conversation with my mom recently, and she was talking about relationships, and she was talking about how it's taken her basically her entire life to learn the importance of boundaries in a relationship, whether it's a friendship or a family relationship or what have you. So she was saying that she finally learned that the boundaries themselves are so important for relationships, so that you don't get, in this instance, taken advantage of and end up becoming upset with not only the person that you feel is taking advantage of you, but becoming upset with yourself and becoming upset over the whole situation and possibly over the entire relationship in general. And that got me thinking that I feel very fortunate to have learned at a fairly young age that I knew I wanted to have boundaries in my relationships, because I felt that it wasn't a matter of pushing people away or setting like these hard lines. I feel very fortunate to have learned to put boundaries on my relationships. And so I guess what I mean by boundaries is, one thing that always kind of stuck out to me in my mind was the nice guys finish last. And that definitely doesn't apply to just guys. I think that just sounds better than nice people finish last. But I think that unfortunately it's very common in our relationships to be taken advantage of and to take advantage of other people. And I don't really know why that is, but I know that as a younger person, I was definitely one of the nice guys, and I didn't really know how to say no to my friends. I didn't know how to say no to my family. So pretty much anything that anyone asked of me, I would do it. And if I didn't feel like doing it, then I would feel guilty, and I would say that I would do it anyway, even though I really didn't want to do it. And then in sets the resentment from, you know, feeling like you can't tell that person no, or you feel like you don't have that boundaries with that person or those people. And I think for me, it came down to a point where I was getting upset as to how these relationships were molded, and felt like they were very one-sided relationships. And I don't know exactly what clicked for me, but it came to a point where I looked at it, and the only person that I had to blame was myself, because I wasn't setting boundaries. I wasn't speaking my mind. I wasn't saying no when I wanted to say no, and then was holding it against these people who I had never even really given them an opportunity to react to my saying no. And so it wasn't really fair to them. It wasn't fair to me. It wasn't fair to our relationships. So to hear my mom say that she finally is learning how to set boundaries, and she feels like it's very healthy for her and feels like it is helping her not to become angry over something that she has complete and total control over. But she did say, and I would have to agree, that for nice guys or nice people, or however you want to word it, is that I think the guilt trip, like the self guilt trip, is the most difficult part of setting boundaries, because you feel like you want to be there for everyone, and you feel like you want to be everything to everyone and be able to do the things that they want you to do. And I think that that's kind of shitty, because like, you don't have to feel guilty. Guilt is a choice. No one can make you feel guilty without your consent. And that was huge for me. Like, that was absolutely huge. So I guess what I am getting at is that if you are a nice person and you see people get taken advantage of, and it kind of makes you upset. Like, if it makes me upset, like, being their friend. But like I said, the only person that can change how you feel about something or how you react to something is you. And so if you're a nice person, and I'm sure there are still plenty of really nice people out there that feel guilt trips and that want to be everything to everyone, then you have to make a choice. And it's really hard at first to say no, and it's really hard to set boundaries, because you're not sure how people are going to react. And they might react in a negative way, or they might surprise you and completely understand, and they might even be surprised that you're just voicing your opinion about something, or that you are setting boundaries. And I think those are the best relationships, are the people that they understand what it is that you're doing, I guess, and they understand. Like, I guess just one example would be, like, if a friend asked you to go out on a weeknight and you have work in the morning or school or whatever, and you say no, and they get upset and they say, oh, well, come on, it's not that big of a deal, and really you just don't want to go. So you continue to say no, and that can be really, really hard. Like, if someone is pressuring you and trying to make you feel that guilt trip that you're trying to shed from your own feelings, like, that can be really, really hard. But I swear that it gets easier. And just like my mom was saying, and how I'm saying to you now, is relationships are so much healthier when you can set healthy boundaries, and when you can be honest with each other about your opinions, and be honest about what it is that you want to do and what you don't want to do. And I just thought that that was so cool. And I don't know, I guess another way that you could look at it, maybe you're not a nice person, maybe you're one of those people that guilt trips people, and maybe you just don't realize it, and maybe you have a lot of friends that are nice people, or maybe your best friend's a nice person, or what have you. But I would think that another way of looking at it, maybe if you're not one of those nice guys, is thinking about, like, do you have a friend that you think is a nice guy and maybe is afraid to stand up to you and tell you, like, no, I don't want to do that, or no, I'm not really feeling like going out drinking on a weeknight, or no, I don't feel like coming over or peopling or whatever. And if you do have a friend like that and you feel like maybe they're not being honest with you, maybe give them the opportunity to share their opinion. You know, because maybe you just haven't thought of it before, and maybe you are guilt tripping that person and making it harder for them to set boundaries with you. And I just think that if everyone was more open and honest with themselves, and more open and honest with the people that they love and the people that love them, the world would be a lot better in general. And honestly, if someone has a problem with you setting boundaries and wants to guilt trip you to the end and not understand that you're also a human being with opinions and desires and needs, then whatever, like, that person's probably not worth having in your life. And I mean, that can be really hard too, is like cutting people out, but sometimes that's what life is about. And I hope that nobody has to go through that, but I think that it is important to surround yourself with people that support you and that support you being your own person and support you feeling like you can have boundaries in your relationships and in your friendships. So that's pretty much it, I think. I'm almost home. Gonna go home and make some enchiladas because that sounds super good. But let me know in the comments below, like, do you think that you're a nice person? Am I totally off base saying that boundaries in relationships are normal, or that cutting people out who don't respect that is normal? Because I don't know, maybe I'm like narcissistic in my own mind, and maybe I'm being selfish by saying that I need boundaries. I don't know. I mean, this is just what I've done with my life, and I don't know, I'm interested to hear outside perspectives on it, I guess. So let me know what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, feel free to hit the thumbs up button, and if you want to see more, go ahead and click the subscribe button, as well as that little bell on the side. I guess that like sends you notifications every time I post a video, which I guess is pretty cool. But yeah, I'm super excited to be making these videos. I like having the opportunity to kind of put my thoughts out there. So I hope you enjoy watching them. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.